Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Forza Horizon 5 to take a look at another brand new addition to the Forza series, which is this Mercedes-AMG SL63. As with most new additions to this game, to obtain the new car, all you have to do is complete 20 points of this week's festival playlist, which is Winter Season. As well as this AMG, there is also a returning Lotus Esprit available for completing this seasonal championship, which was previously seen in Horizon 4. And just like in that game, the Lotus comes in a whole selection of very bright manufacturer colours. There's the red, there's a metallic-y red, there's an orange, a yellow, a green, a blue, a purple, a black, and some grey, silvers and whites. So I'm of course going to immediately make mine purple. So then back to the new Mercedes. Before we talk any more about this car though, the first question being a convertible is, can you put the roof up and down here in Forza? And, well, you can. But unfortunately, just like the new Bentley Continental GT that they added, they've not included an animation. It just dips to black and then you have a convertible. The SL63 is the top-of-the-range version of Mercedes' latest SL. It's based on the same platform as the new AMG GT, so not quite sure why they added this instead of that. Although not that long ago this same car actually arrived in the Crew Motorfest 2, so it's obviously been possible to license these, but not yet the new AMG GT. Anyway, this seems to produce the same 577 horsepower as the old generation AMG GTR, so I think both new cars must share an engine, or at least have a very similar engine to that, although this has 100 more torques than that previous AMG GT. This new car is also all-wheel drive and weighs substantially more, although to be fair, it is a new and convertible Grand Tourer, so a touch under 2 tons isn't exactly unexpected, especially if we consider that the Bentley Continental that was added in the recent car pack is nearly half a ton heavier. But just under 2 tons is still quite a lot of weight to be dragging around, and driving it here, much like that newly added Bentley, you could really feel that weight. Anyway, overall this means the big Merc has a PI rating of A789, and no, I don't know why 789, but maybe it was hungry. Also, despite quite clearly being a GT car, as all SLs have been since the dawn of the dinosaurs pretty much, Forza in its infinite wisdom has put this in the Super Saloons category. So then, in terms of customization and upgrades, the big Mercedes has several quite nice manufacturer colours. It's got the red that it comes in, it's got this rather lovely blue, a silver, a yellow, which I do like, but unfortunately in Forza when you drive yellow cars in free roam they look a bit washed out, particularly in this Horizon game for some reason. There's a white and a black, so out of these I'm going to go for that rather lovely blue, which means I probably will keep the black wheels. If it had been a darker colour I would have probably gone and done the wheels in silver. Speaking of the wheels, there are some advanced painting groups for those, so if I was to paint that in a, well, let's go for a grey just to show you, then I could paint group 2, which is the bit behind, in another colour, but I'm not going to do that, so let's leave those as they are. And over in the upgrade shop, there's nothing special really. You can put a Lamborghini V10 in the car, or you can put a racing V12 in the car. Don't know why you'd want to do either of those. You can make it rear-wheel drive. Again, I'm not sure why. The Forza Aero is particularly appalling on this car because, well, the canards are ridiculous, the tow hook's in the middle, and Forza Aero on the back of a convertible, well, it's in front of the active wing for a start, but Forza Aero on a convertible, it's just even worse. So, no. Interestingly though, in the tyres and rims section, although you can do your tyre compounds, your tyre widths, and your track widths, which I will do because it makes the car sit slightly nicer, on this you can't increase the size or change the size of your wheels at all, which is quite unusual. You can though do all of the usual drivetrain changes and all of the usual platform and handling changes. If you take all of the weight out, you can get it as low as just over 1.5 tons, but it's still a very heavy car, so I don't think that's of much use. And then you have all of your usual engine upgrades as well, including if you really want to ruin your SL, anti-lag. So then, I didn't expect to be able to make this car light enough to really compete in Horizon Open at all, but I went to look for some tunes anyway. I didn't see any that looked amazing, so I decided to give upgrading the car a go myself. It's already not that far away from the top of A, so I focused on reducing weight a bit, although with the upgrades I put on it still weighs over 1800 kilos, but also left the wider track width and put it on race suspension, just because it looks slightly better. I know it's probably not really the way to upgrade a car, and I know this probably wasn't the best set of upgrades overall then, but I think whatever you do with this car it's going to be too heavy, so I wasn't too worried about making it brilliant. I just wanted to put a few bits on and go into open. So with these upgrades applied, that's exactly what I did, joining for the first race of an adventure at the Bahia de Plano circuit to find only 3 other people racing. I got a good launch off the line, but not quite as good as the skyline next to me, putting me very quickly in 2nd place. I kept messing up the final corner until the final lap, this car understeering even more than I had initially expected, but somehow I stayed in 2nd place until the end of the race. Next up was the Horizon Oval. For some reason, I really still don't understand why this sometimes appears in open. At least this time, one more person had joined the race, but the race was still incredibly boring, and it was an incredibly average 3rd place finish for the big SL. Finally, we went to the Junas Blancas sprint, this time with 5 other people racing, but still only a half-full lobby is slightly disappointing, most of them crashing in the first part of the sprint as well, promoting me to 2nd place fairly easily, which is where I finished. The skyline in 1st though was ridiculously far ahead in this one. So as expected, the big boaty Mercedes wasn't great with my minimal set of upgrades, however, like I say, I don't believe, given how heavy it is, and that you can't take loads of that weight out, that it would be great with any tune applied in Horizon Open. Just wanted to give it a go here anyway, just as a bit of fun. And that is going to do it for today's video, taking a very first look at the Mercedes-AMG SL63 here on Forza Horizon 5. Stock, it is actually a car I quite like, despite its rather humongous weight, although personally I slightly prefer the AMG GT, hence why I'd have slightly preferred to see that car in the game, but it is still cool to have another convertible that we can put the roof down on. Just slightly disappointing that they haven't bothered doing an animation for this one, just like they didn't with the Bentley. I know that's a lot more work, but it would have kind of been nice to see. Not a lot special in the way of upgrades. The Forza Aero is particularly hideous in this car, and it's too heavy to realistically be useful in open racing at all. But I still think it's a rather cool car, and I'm quite pleased to see it here in Forza as well as in the Crew Motorfest. As ever though, do let me know your thoughts on this brand new addition to the Forza series, but for today's video that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next one very soon.